Hello, gamers. Hello. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being late to my own stream. Listen, all right. I hate Windows because anytime I plug in something or unplug something, Windows is like, oh, I don't know where the sound went. Oh my gosh, oh, what's happening? And it's just amazing. um, so now this time for sure, I can hear. I'm pretty sure the stream can hear. Everything's okay. Yippee! Let me go over. Let me go over to game screen. Yay! Cool, everything is up and running. Hello! I hope you all have been having a good week so far. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We are back with some more 428 Shibuya Scramble. Am I tabbed into the game? Let me start there. Yes, I am. Yay! Last time, Minorikawa died. Kano saw an explosion. Achi carried Hitomi away from the explosion like a badass. Maria is, I don't know. Maria's not doing anything, really. And Osawa is something? What is Osawa doing? He had a real heart-to-heart with Kajiwara. It was super cute and super neat. And then we got to keep out, I guess. Alright, cool. That's the recap. As I said, I said last stream as well, last 428 Shibuya Scramble stream, I said it's as on Twitter and Blue Sky as well, bleh, words. But I will be taking kind of a week off, so you probably won't hear from me until like next week, maybe Thursday or Friday, I want to say, if you're keeping up with the playthrough. So be well. Be well during that time. If you're someone who only keeps up with Shibuya Scramble, I wish you all the best and be happy and well during this time. Otherwise, let's go ahead and hop into a story. I don't know where I need to go. I don't know what's happening. Achi got a to be continued here. I don't know what that's about. Maria, everything that we did with Maria, I think, disappeared. So we may be able to continue? Maybe? And somehow Miku needs to meet up with Minorikawa. I don't know how that's possible. Maybe I have to make a different choice here, perhaps. For right now, let's just continue with Maria. See where that goes. One second. 1 second. Hold on. Okay, I don't know why, but Stream Manager has been doing this thing where it just stops and decides not to work, and that's really fun because it's super great. It's super great when I can't see the stream. Anyway, when I arrive at the alley though, there's nobody around. There's nobody there. Paradoxically, I'm both relieved and severely disappointed. Then, I happen to notice something lying on the ground. What is it? Yes, the picture. That's... I always forget his name. I remember Toyama's name as, like, the first one. It's not Toyama. It's Kano's senpai. Well, what do I do now? Did I go to the police? How do I even explain the situation? I mean, you could just go to the police and just say words, even if they don't believe you. But no, that would be too easy, I guess. Sure. All right. Now I know nothing about it. What do I do? Oh, this is new. What am I supposed to do? I hang my head at a total loss. The necklace around my neck sways idly to and fro. I don't think this is new. Shoot. Alright, cool. Nice. Nice. I'm crazy. That's great. With that in mind, let me go over here. We're gonna make a different decision. Hold on, let me read this again. Okay. I'm gonna make a different choice here with Minorikawa. And if that doesn't work, I will go back here somehow. There's no choice here. There's no choice. I don't think this really matters, but I'll go back with Maria and see if I can't change something there. For now, let's go ahead and change something. Sales demo venue. Endo Electronics. How would I know? How would I know? Endo Electronics? I don't know. Probably he was heading to Endo Electronics. It was the only local place he could think of that might buy a second-hand computer. Damn. The guy had led him on a wild goose chase. And this way you won't die. Yippee! Minorikawa started running toward Dogenzaka. As he approached the scramble outside the station, he caught sight of a skinny figure disappearing into the throng along Center Guy. A suit with deep bluish. Bluish. I was like, bluish. Stripes. Indeed, I can read. It's so fun to read. There was only one man he knew who was dressed like that. But why was he heading down Center Guy and not towards Dogenzaka? Oh, now he remembered. There was a second-hand knick-knack shop where the Burning Hammer demo had been held. Yeah. Okay. At top prices. We saw all of this. That had to be it. That's where... Yup. Okay. There you are. I have a feeling this is gonna go the exact same. Let me skip. And see. And then there was only darkness. Okay, cool. We're gonna get out of here then. And try again. He was heading towards the sales demo. Probably he was heading toward the sales demo venue. It's an amazing flashback. Maybe he was planning to find some more customers and auction the laptop off to them. Sure. Damn. Okay. Oh, wait, this is different. Sorry. I wasn't paying attention, obviously. Oh, no, it's just leading me back. Must be there. There you are. Alright, cool. Alright, neat. And then there was only darkness. Alright, bro, I think you're gonna die. I think you're just gonna die. I can't help you. Let's see. Anything else I can do? Where are some jumps that I have? We can make a jump... That guy. That guy. But we can't make a jump to him right now, which is interesting. Okay. Any other jumps? To the sister. Here. Oh, okay. I see. I guess he'll die. Well, that's not my problem. Hello, Chu. I hope you have been well. Just finishing the time block up here today. So. Okay. I ran after it, but wound up losing sight of it. It was heading toward Jinyan. That's what he says. What about your sister? Wahoo! Aw. This is a cool jump, to be honest. Alright, Maria, what are you planning on doing? Eventually, I muster up the energy to start walking around town, heading nowhere in particular. There she is, Aya Kamiki. She's just all over the place. The billboard outside of a department store displays a poster of some female musician. She must be pretty popular, because lots of passersby stop to take a good look. Am I just imagining things? I feel like I saw this same poster somewhere very recently. Standing underneath the sign is a woman talking on her cell phone. Wait, what? It seems like she's having an argument with whoever's on the line. Wait, what? I don't want to be nosy, so I just pass on by. Okay. Okay. As I come out as I come out onto Koendori, I gradually come to a halt. I'm a little tired from all this aimless wandering around. I let my gaze stray along the street as I consider my next move. Then I catch sight of a blue minivan parked across the street. Don't. Why? Why does it matter? Why does it matter to you? Don't go over there. You're gonna die. Oh! Suddenly my heart starts pounding. I know this. I know this minivan. If I head over to it, I'm sure I'll remember something. But not to the police. As if pulled by some huge magnet, I make my way toward the vehicle. And then I died. Shoot. Suddenly, there's a thunderous boom. I'm knocked flat by a blast of energy, and the world goes all topsy-turvy. As I lie in shock, a wave of unfamiliar images fills my mind. Oh, well. But it's blue. I know. Maybe blue's her favorite color. It's like, I just have to go over there. I know it's important. A cloud of whirling dust in some place that isn't Japan. A simple room with unfamiliar architecture. A girl. And I know the girl's name. Is this plot relevant? Is this canon? Well, this is canon. But is this like the canon answer to have her get blown up? Her name is... On the verge of that revelation, my consciousness fades away. Oh no, this is a bad end. Okay. And then I died. Ow, it hurts so much. Bad ends. Number 45, a sudden blast. Okay, cool. Maria arrives at Koendori just in time to get caught in a minivan explosion. If she's going to avoid this fate, she needs to stay away from that vehicle. Someone else's actions can ensure that Hana Toyama crosses paths with her again. Then Maria will talk to her and avoid the minivan. Okay, so that's definitely Achi, but... Okay, this is a lot of back and forth. That's definitely Achi. What's the choice that I made here? To the surveillance room, wham. I think it was here, right? Does anyone else have a something to say about that? Not Osawa. So yeah, I think it's Achi in that case. So let's go over there and make the correct choice. Took a quick leap to one side. Okay. Achi took a quick leap to one side. He managed to avoid crashing into her by taking a tumble himself, but the girl was still definitely a bit shocked. Sorry about that, Achi said. Are you alright? But the girl didn't answer, or even meet Achi's eye. She just looked around as if in a daze. Was she waiting on someone maybe? What are you doing here? Odd kid, Achi thought. I hope she's okay. But oh well, I don't care about that. Once more, they set off running. I'm surprised the little girl didn't say anything about like, oh hey, I know you to a Hitomi, or anything like that, but... Okay, so this should be all the same. Okay, stay back. Yes, this is all the same. It's saved. Cool. Now let's try this again. So there I was wandering around trying to have a... I won't die this time, so... Yippee. She must be pretty popular. Oh. And she... Okay, I see. Okay. I was like, it's so weird that we're just passing over her. Like, she's right there. Okay, I see. I catch sight of little Hana in front of the billboard. She's showing something to a woman there, some colorful sheet of paper. Hmm? The woman looks a lot like the musician in the poster. Could it be that maybe she's the musician in the poster? Moreover, I have a feeling I've seen her someplace before. Where could I have seen her? Man, having amnesia really is a pain in the ass. I have no way of knowing whether I've forgotten something or had no memory of it in the first place. The woman looks through the papers. The papers Hana held out to her, nodding approvingly at each one, and I can hear her murmur with admiration. Hana! I wave as I scamper over to her. As I do, the woman abruptly hurries off. Why? Alright, Aya Kamiki, the main villain of the game. Let's go. she is somehow Alphard? Is that Aya Kamiki? It is. It is. Hello, Black Blue. I hope you've been well. We have just been blessed by Aya Kamiki's presence, and maybe she's the final boss of something, I don't know. Hey, we meet again, I say. Hana just gives me a bored look. Who was that just now? I ask.
I don't know.
Oh, and then she just runs away. Hana quickly gathers up her belongings and starts walking briskly away. Oh, hey, wait up, I call out. The girl ignores me. She's moving at a jog now, heading from Spanish Hill toward Koendori. Oh, and now she falls. Why does she keep doing this? I feel bad for this child. This is just like the worst day of her life. It's just, oh gosh. Hello, I am the protagonist. No, poor kid. This is the second time that she's fallen like this, at least. Or maybe even the third time. I don't know what's going on here. This is little misfortune. Levels of faceplants. It is. Not again. It can't be helped. Oh well. As she steps out onto Koendori, she trips and falls down hard. The contents of her bag spill out on the road. Oh, whoops. Catching up to her, I gather up some of the fallen pages. What's this? There are poems written on the colored paper. What is a poem, game? I don't know. Copies of a prose poem titled The False Monsoon. The poem delicately details the wavering emotions of an adolescent girl. Also, in a clever twist, if the text is read horizontally instead of vertically, it tells about a father's worries over his only daughter, who is now of marriageable age. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's cool. That's a neat poem. Hana's genius will soon be discovered by Aya Kamiki, and she will go on to become a popular songwriter. Wait, what? Okay, good for her. I guess we don't have time to see that in the game, because it all takes place over the course of a day. But good for her, honestly. A look of embarrassment crosses Hana's face, and she snatches the papers out of my hands.
Don't touch those. Those are for sale.
For sale?
I'm selling poems that I wrote.
Oh wow, that's incredible. She looks surprised by the compliment.
Incredible. My friends at school say they were dumb.
That's not true. I only saw a little just now, but I thought it was a really good poem.
You're just saying that. I've been out here in Shibuya for weeks trying to sell these, but the only person who's bought one was that lady just now.
Hana lets out a mournful sigh. You know something I just realized? This game reminds me of that TV show 24. 24. I don't actually know the game. That show. Huh. Not to worry, Google will tell me things. 24, the TV show. American drama series. 2001 with 9 seasons. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Jack Bauer. Jack Stanley. Okay, I see. Interesting. I'm seeing the description right now, and yeah, kind of I'm seeing some keywords here that are very similar to the story that we're playing right now. So each episode had an IRL hour where the MC had 24 hours to solve some crime. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. 9 seasons? Not uncommon for a show in 2001, but still, it's like, oh my gosh. That's kind of an interesting premise. It's on Hulu. Maybe I'll check it out.
Well, what are you out here selling poems for anyway? I thought maybe it'd help pay back our debts.
Huh? Okay, that's not something I expect to hear from a little kid.
My dad's in real deep,
she continues. The topic makes me think of Mr. Boss. Guess today's my day for meeting people mired in debt. Usually involved some major conspiracy involving the American government. Oh, okay. I see. Well, still might be like this game, honestly. We still don't know Jack Stanley's motives, so still might be on the money here.
And I'm only in elementary school, so I can't get a part-time job.
Japan's Labor Standards Act prohibits the hiring of children under the age of 15. For certain jobs within the entertainment industry, however, employers can obtain permission from the Labor Standard Inspection Office for younger children to work. The game needs to clarify, is like, this is not against the law. Hana is here with permission. Don't worry.
I'm impressed. She's so brave. She's maybe a little hard to approach, but she is just a kid after all. She's so brave, I just want to give her a hug.
Oh, Hana. I hear... Oh, no. I was like, okay. Oh, Hana. I hear a strange wailing call from behind me. Amazing. Startled, I turn around to see Mr. Toyama standing there, tears streaming from his face. It's just like the fakest tears in the world. Hana, I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were trying so hard to... This wasn't your voice. This was Mr. Boss's voice. I think you were more like... Rah, 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 rah. Toyama rushes up to the girl. It's quite the emotional father-daughter reunion. Or at least, that's how it looks until Hana slaps her father across the face with bundles of paper. He deserves it, to be honest. What was that for?
Don't you give me that. I'm sick of all this running around. And then she just beat the shit. And then I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
She delivers several more well-paced smacks with little craft projects. And Maria just smiles. This is amazing. Okay, Toyama says at last. I know you're upset, but I have to ask you for just one thing. Then we can see about getting through the day, yeah?
Okay, but just one.
Infinite slaps. I know, this is an amazing scene. This is an amazing scene. I can't help but find this ordinary interaction kind of charming. Maybe it's because I got slapped in the past. Literally, this is the only reason we had that flashback with Osawa. Amazing. You two get along really well, don't you? I say. Yup.
Nope.
The two give simultaneous contradictory replies. Then Hana sullenly starts to walk off, with Toyama tottering after her. It's such a weird little sight that I can't help but laugh. Well, later then. Oh shit, no! Oh shit. Okay. How did we survive that? Oh. Ah, damn. That was crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. At least she wasn't near it. Yeah, wasn't Hitomi right there? True! She should be able to look down and be like, hey, this person looks exactly like me. Oh well.
Further along Koendori, I come across a car on the roadside that's spectacularly aflame. A group of onlookers surrounds it, in a confused uproar. It seems almost unreal, like I'm looking at a set for a TV show or something. We were just enjoying a kid beating up an adult too. I know, happy times, and then all of a sudden, the plot. The plot. I stand there, staring into the flames. Huh? What's that? I can see something. Well, you definitely can't see this. I was gonna say you can see a body in there, but okay, sure. The raging heat makes the air simmer. The scent of dry sand fills my nose. A gust of searing wind tugs at my hair. Where am I? Decaying roads, decaying houses, a decaying city. And the people who live there. People who live. People who live. People who live. There's someone by my side. Someone is with me, watching all of this. It's a girl. The person with me is a girl, slightly younger than me. She says something to me. Anna Ismi, I'm sorry, I wouldn't know. Anna Ismi, are you sure? She knows Japanese, doesn't she? Cat's Cradle. That's my voice now. Cat's Cradle? Whose voice was that? What's going on? Who am I talking to? I don't know. I have to do all the voices and I don't know who's talking. Yeah, Cat's Cradle. I'm showing someone how to do a cat's cradle with string. But who? Who am I showing how to do a cat's cradle? Kanan. Kanan. She should be right in front of you. Like, open your eyes. The word Kanan echoes in my head. Kanan? I utter the name aloud. The images floating through my mind are beginning to break up and vanish. But I feel like, for a brief moment at least, I'd caught hold of the edges of some of my lost memories. That's right. Kanan. Okay, somehow I'm no longer in the same place. So she doesn't actually see her. As soon as I say it, I'm filled with a powerful sense of duty. There's someone I'm responsible for, something that I needed to do. And if I don't, this Kanan person is going to be in grave danger. Calm down. Just calm down. I'm pleading with myself now, fighting the impulse to take off running. If I did, where would I go? I have no idea what my destination or my goal even is. Please, please remember something. Please, please. I gaze out at the flames, practically praying now. Ah, shit. Not again. Don't move. A voice hisses in my ear, and I feel something hard press against my back. I don't need to turn around to recognize whose voice it is. I thought you said you didn't have any business with... I did a little thinking, says the man with the cane slowly. About how I might lure out Hitomi Osawa, see?
Uh-oh. I'm going to use you as bait. Ah, shoot. Not again. This is the second time this has been done. Is this a to be continued? It is. Interesting. Is this also at the like 1630 or whatever time block it is? 1530. It's 1540. But okay, these are ending kind of earlier. Interesting. All right. Well, now I know. Can't we just have a chill meal at Denny's back there? Can't we just chill, bro? Come on. Like, we don't have to do this. You can at least treat me to ice cream first. Alright. Let's see. Let's see. We still can't jump to that guy. That guy, Minorikawa. I don't know what to do for him. What's the... There's no jump over here. I just want to eat hot chip and lie. Come on, bro. Why do you have to be like this? I don't know what you kids are talking about. Shut up. Okay. Let me go ahead and... There are no choices here. There's one choice for the hit me. I don't think that matters too much in the grand scheme of things. We went back and changed the choice here. I don't think that matters. I think this is where we're supposed to be for Achi. Maybe? Maybe. Maybe? Keep out for Osawa here. I'm genuinely confused. Okay, I think that I might go here. We made the jump from here to sister, right? Can I make a different choice with the surveillance cameras and have that matter at all? No, because this jump has to happen. So no, this needs to be the same. In that case... No thanks to the banana. That can't matter either. Anything over here? Classical recommendation. I think that's important to have. So maybe go over... Hold on, let me check. Chasing Mono comes to the knick-knack shop. She might interrupt their argument and things might turn out differently. It's happened before where the choice doesn't affect the current route, only another character. Right, right. My thing is that, like, to be continued is... To me, to be continued is kind of finite. And the fact that we needed this jump here... Like, it might still exist, but... I think we have two options. I think we either go back here or we somehow do something over here. There's no choice here. Shit. Okay, never mind. Let me go back here. Achi, please, what are you doing? Stop us around. Right, my bad. Okay, maybe we can see Hitomi this, not Hitomi. You are Hitomi. Maybe we can see Maria this time. Yeah, I mean, changing that option on Achi's route might not remove, his to be continued or his jump, but it might change another character. Right, yeah. It's just... I wish there was a better indication of like, oh, this is finite. You couldn't get this to be continued if you hadn't done X, Y, or Z. Right, my bad. Achi switched over to a different camera and saw... He continued switching views, scanning the streets of Shibuya, but there was no sign of a blue minivan anywhere. Still, they remained glued to the monitor.
Oh, that's me. Wow, amazing.
It's an email from Mr. Tanaka. Okay, this is all the same. What? Yep, that's all the same. Okay, cool. Did that change anything at all? Did it change anything? No, not over here. Sometimes I wish that the keep-outs had, like, a hint as well. How do I get Miku over here? Gosh darn it. Okay, let's try... This doesn't matter. There's no choice here. I can change it, but I don't know. I can change it, see what happens. The assassin doesn't answer. It doesn't look like he wants to kill me anymore. So I remain motionless, waiting for an opportunity to run away. Okay. I might not make it in time. The man murmurs to himself under his breath. Not make it in time for what? I'm curious now, but this is hardly the time or place to try and find out more. And yet, you come back here, in another timeline, you come back here looking for answers. I've learned for certain that I'm not Hitomi Osawa, which basically tells me nothing. I'm right back to square one on figuring out who I am. The assassin has gone quiet, sitting on a pile of crates. He seems to be lost in thought. Still, I don't dare try to get away. All I can do is stand and wait and mull over my own situation. Just who am I? I ask myself again and again. I am... No, I have no business with you, the man finally says. Go, don't worry. I won't follow you. That's a lie. That's a frickin' lie. I wonder if I can believe him. Maybe he's just trying to get me off my guard so he can shoot me in the back. Do not go to the police or go back home, he continues. Lay low by yourself somewhere for a while. How long is a while? Why are you not asking where's my home? How do you know about my home? Until around sundown. It should all be over by then. It'll all be over. I have no idea what it is, but I decide not to pry in case he decides to change his mind. Okay, I'm going to run away now. Sure, whatever, I don't care. I take a slow step backward. I'm starting to turn away when he speaks again. Shit. Before you go, I need to tell you one more thing. Okay, I see. So by having this conversation, we will not run into Miku, and Miku will probably go to the knick-knack shop. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Especially because we were saying earlier that it was like, wow, this conversation is so pointless and I hate having it. Interesting. Okay. What's that? When you get your memories back, I'm sure you're going to hate me. And so I apologize in advance. I mean, I already kind of hate you for pointing a gun in my face, but sure. Of course, I have no idea what he's talking about, but it makes me even more uneasy. I truly am sorry. I've got no response for that, so I just give the man one last look before I turn and run. Okay. I decide... Oh, well, this is different now. I decide to look for some place to hide out for a while, as the gunman suggested. But since I don't really know my left from my right in this town, it's easier said than done. Before I realize it, I've made my way back to the knick-knack shop where I bought the necklace. Why? Huh?
Maybe I could hide out in here. As I contemplate that possibility, I hear an all too familiar voice.
Tama, Tama, Tama. Oh my god. No. I really wanted it to be Cheery. I'm so sick and tired of seeing you, man. Why are you like this? There's Mr. Boss on the floor of the shop. He's been tied up in some rope.
What happened, boss?
Look, this is all just... I was framed.
Nah, whatever's happened, I'm pretty sure it was all his fault. It was all his stupid fault. Just call it a hunch.
He says I'm a thief. Well, he's the thief for selling stuff he finds around town.
Hey, the sales clerk steps into view, scowling. Just what are you implying? What in the world is going on here? I haven't the foggiest.
Tama, help me, please.
Boss kicks and squirms like a hyperactive child. And then I just walk out of there. I don't care. Do you know this man? The sales clerk asks. No. Well, I mean, sorta. He's a real pain. He's been making a scene like this for as long as he's been here. I find it hard to imagine a worse way to interfere with someone's business. I hate to ask, the clerk continues, but could you take him to the police for me? Yeah, Maria, maybe go to the police. The police? Yeah. Oh, well, the police, about that. I'm just gonna listen to what that guy said, even though he tried to shoot me. Sure, okay. Please. I know, Boss is so funny. I do like Boss, but it is very much like, dang, how do you keep getting caught up in these situations, man? Why do you do the things that you do? Oh, well, the police. The gunman did specifically warn me not to go to them, so I'm just gonna listen. I feel no loyalty to that killer, but I am reluctant to antagonize him. And for reasons I can't explain, I have a strong sense that going to the police right now is a bad move. Is it? Is it really? Maybe she has a reason for this. She's not supposed to run into Jack Stanley for some reason. So maybe that's the reason why, and she knows intuitively, like, I can't go to the police because X, Y, and Z. But Mr. Boss isn't privy to my thoughts, and he looks up at me with a hopeful gleam in his eye.
Hey, that'll work. Tama can take me to the police. And then we can put this all behind us. All's well that ends well, right?
Sure. Feeling like I have no choice, I leave the shop with him. Is he still tied up? Is he just still on a leash? Ah, no. You let him free. Okay, Mr. Boss says excitedly as soon as we're out of earshot. Now, let's find Shiri. Huh? Aren't we going to the What? No, we're not really gonna go. Oh man, I am so glad you showed up, Tama. Now come on, let's go find Shiri. From the big grin on his face, I have an inkling of what's coming next. You've thought of another get rich quick scheme, haven't you? Waha! I know how to speak. I mean, to be fair, this one may actually work. This one may actually have some weight behind it. All the other ones, though, maybe not. Maybe not.
Goodness, Tama, you can see right through me.
It's not that difficult. It's practically written all over your face, boss. But Mr. Boss isn't really listening. He's too full of enthusiasm.
This time, I got a line on 10 million yen.
Come on, let's go make ourselves stinking rich! He punctuates his grand announcement by pointing fervently at some non-existent listener. It's me! Wahoo! He sees me!
Several weeks later.
Iron Stomach, a celebrity of truly astonishing appetites. When the mighty stomach... We somehow... She just abandoned everything else. It's like, I don't care. Yippee! I stand with Shiri on the winner's podium. The cheers and applause are deafening when the master of ceremonies makes the announcement. Shiri is the champion. She laughs with delight as she holds up the trophy that signifies her 10 million yen win. And me? I got runner-up. I wasn't too into the idea at first, but after giving it a shot, I found that professional gluttony kinda grows on you. Even I was surprised by how much I could eat, and I had to admit it felt kinda good. Isn't there like a virus in Tokyo that everyone's gonna contract and die, or whatever, who cares? My memory still hasn't come back, but that doesn't matter anymore. I found myself a new purpose. Yay! To steal Chiri's spot on the throne. That right there is now my greatest goal in life. Who cares about Hitomi? Who the fuck's Hitomi? Who's that? I don't give a shit. Bad ends. Kanan all watching this from a TV screen, and she's like, what the fuck? She's like, what the hell? Tama never got her memories back. She ended up starting a new life on the competitive eating circuit, which may not be a horrible fate, but wouldn't it be better if she recovered her old life as Maria? When she was cornered into the alley by a man with a cane, there's someone who could have turned up and helped her out. Boss. What? But he can't do that if he ends up getting tied at the knick-knack shop. Oh my gosh, okay, the twists and turns on this one are crazy. What? Alright. Why does this exist then? Okay. Okay. So, you should not find him. I don't know where you should go instead. I don't know about you, dude. I don't know about Minorikawa. Look at all these choices just kind of blocked out. He was heading to the sales demo venue. Yeah, of course, with that goofy expression of his. Please let this work. When Minorikawa, yes, before long, however, a glance to one side stopped him in his tracks. Aha, he chirped. Ah, damn it. Ah, dang it. Okay, let's try that again. It may not matter. I might have to just, like, continue and then be, like, somehow generous. Yeah, actually, that must be what it is, because now Miku is not caught up in things. So let's just continue. Let's just continue and see where that goes. All right. We're surely on a wild goose chase. Let's go. There you are, boss. Minorikawa burst into the shop on Center Guy, an accusing finger pointing squarely at the thief. Listen, there's no way I'm buying a computer that doesn't have a power cable. Details, schmeetails. All you sell here is junk anyway. Boss and shopkeeper have gotten into an argument. Minorikawa recognized the shopkeeper. It was the guy he'd run into on the roadside earlier. That computer belongs to me, Minorikawa shouted as he marched up to them. Give it back. Okay. All of this is kind of the same. And then he unlocked his true potential. And then Minorikawa beat the shit out of him. And then Miku showed up, but then someone else came into the shop. The boss's eyes lit up as they saw who it was. My angel. Whatever is my darling Miku doing here? Miku stood in the doorway on the verge of tears. Mr. Minorikawa, she began. Then her voice choked up. Miku? What's the matter? Is something wrong? Miku drew in close to Minorikawa's side. Huh? Huh? Boss's gaze darted back and forth between Minorikawa and Miku. You two know each other? Sort of. More to the point. Is she the girl you said you were in love with?
That's right, my one and only Miku. I have her entrance music set as my ringtone. I have all that Vocaloid songs, all those Vocaloid songs as my playlist, my ringtone. Paying no heed to Boss's excitement, Miku kept her eyes fixed on Minorikawa. I lost to a girl who knows Aiki Jujutsu. I lost. She buried her face in Minorikawa's chest. Minorikawa was like, why me? Boss let out a gasp. What's this about? What in the world is this all about? He seemed on the verge of panic.
Mr. Minorikawa, I need to learn Aiki Jujutsu.
Yep. I feel so ashamed.
She buried her face even deeper in Minorikawa's chest.
That's so unfair! You have gold on your silver on your teeth? He does. Look at that. That's amazing.
And then he ran away. With tears in his eyes, Boss darted out of the door. Yay! Minorikawa glared after the pathetic fellow as he scampered off.
That guy sure knows how to take advantage of a bad situation. I'll give him that,
he murmured. I can't let him get away. Anyhow, I'm glad I got my partner back. Ordinarily, he'd be inclined to pursue Boss and subject him to a tirade, at the very least. But there is no time for that now. He explained the situation to the shopkeeper, who flashed a sympathetic smile.
Ah, is that so? Lucky for you, he's screwed up, then. Much as I'm happy to do business, I just can't buy a computer that doesn't come with its accessories.
Right, all of those got left back at the cafe, which we should go back to right now, right, Minorikawa? Right? So you'd have bought it from him if he just had the accessories?
Of course. Stolen or not, it's all the same once I've sold it.
The shopkeeper chuckled unapologetically.
I suppose that's true.
Minorikawa laughed along with him.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Like hell it is, he roared. The shopkeeper froze like a startled rabbit. I bet everything you have for sale here has been stolen, hasn't it?
Don't be ridiculous. I'll warn you up front, there's no use hiding things from me.
I've interviewed you, after all. I know you. The shopkeeper was getting more and more flustered.
Well, I mean, look, this is just between you and me, okay? Sometimes I go around gathering stuff that people have lost, and I sell it here. But it's not stolen, just repurposed. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
The shopkeeper smiled ingratiatingly. You moron! Minorikawa stuck a finger in the man's face. Miku, what are you doing? You just standing there like, man, I could really go for a sandwich right now. Maybe selling at Denny's. Selling lost property is a serious crime, too. A potential violation of Article 254 of the Penal Code of Japan regarding embezzlement of lost property, which states, a person who embezzles lost property, drift property, or any other property which belongs to another person is in no one's possession, shall be punished for imprisonment which works not with work for not more than 1 year, a fine of not more than 100k yen or a petty fine. Okay, sure.
It is? Well, I mean, I guess I sort of figured it might be. Sometimes.
Well, I'm not the police, so I don't care. I'm more into curiosity than legality. In fact, I find this all pretty fascinating. I mean, what sort of things have you gathered up for sale?
Well, let me see. Like this, and that, and that, and that.
The man pointed to various items on the shelves.
And also this, and that, and that, I guess.
Minorikawa's eyes were directed all over the shop. Wow. Everything the shopkeeper had pointed out had a hefty price tag, but it all looks like it's kind of junk.
And you're actually able to sell things like this? Minorikawa asked. Sure, I can sell stuff. Earlier today, someone bought a big necklace. I listed it for 40k yen, but discounted it down to 30k. And you can still make a profit even offering discounts? Of course, I mean, I got them for free. Sure, I mean, it was just something I found lying on the ground after all. Minorikawa looked back at him, and for a moment he laughed as well. Then his face turned hard. This is no laughing matter, he bellowed. You need to stop what you're doing here right away. Otherwise, you're going to find out what it means to get punished by my pen of justice. I'm so sorry. The shopkeeper bowed repeatedly. Minorikawa glared. The truth was that right now he was so busy he'd have to let this guy slide. Still, the whole asinine affair had eaten up a big chunk of time that he didn't have to waste. At least you haven't died. At least you're alive now, so good for you. He was going to have to finish up his copy back at the editing office. Laptop in hand, he left the shop, only to stop short when a slight figure stepped out in front of him. Oh yeah, Miku, I forgot about you. Mr. Minorikawa. Miku stood there, barring his path. Please, introduce me to a dojo where I can learn Aiki Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sorry. I really don't have time for this right now. Minorikawa tried to hurry onward, but she stubbornly refused to let him pass. You introduced me to that other dojo before, remember? I suppose so, now that you mention it. He tried to slip by her on her right hand side, but she was quick to block him. Do you think that the tears are fake? They look fake. Like, they look like they're plastered on for comedic effects. But why do they look like this? Why does everyone's tears look like this? Is it kind of brought out afterwards in like Adobe, I don't know, Adobe effects, whatever thing that exists? Maybe that's it. I don't know. I assumed it was eye drops. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess so. They just all look so similar to each other, so it has to be all the same thing. Yeah, it's probably eye drops. Because you can kind of see where one eye drop went in on the right eye there. It's just kind of, they're just kind of like, all right, quick, hurry up, take the photo. Okay, I see. You're the one who introduced me to the world of martial arts, Mr. Minorikawa. Well, yes. You know, you're putting me in a bit of a bind here. Trying to slip on past her left side was a no-go, too. She could anticipate his every move. Please, just hear me out, Miku said. She was speaking through quiet sobs now. I can't stand to leave things like this. She looked Minorikawa right in the eye. Sorry, you'll just have to persevere until you're able to win again. This is a good opportunity for you. You can find something to do that isn't martial arts. I'm sorry, but I really don't have time to discuss, for this discussion right now. Okay, somehow, is this gonna be like Cheery has to lose the competition and the only one who can somehow best Cheery is going to be Miku? Maybe find something else to do with your life, like, I don't know, enter an eating competition or something. This is a good opportunity for you. You can find something to do with yourself that isn't martial arts. What? You were the champion at one pub, right? Maybe now that you're done with that, you should find a more girlish line of work instead. All right, Minorikawa. Minorikawa is such an ass. Whatever. Look at his face. She's like, yeah, sure, whatever, I don't care. Miku began to tremble. You jerk! Miku delivered a blindingly fast slap to Minorikawa's cheek. Why do you have to put it like that? You're so mean. Bursting into tears, Miku ran off. Hey, Miku! She gave no sign she'd heard him and didn't turn around. Minorikawa rubbed his cheek. It stung. For once, he actually regretted what he'd said. Maybe he shouldn't have assumed she'd be willing to just give up her hobby. He did in fact know several Aiki Jiu-Jitsu dojos. Is this not the correct choice then? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If only he had the time, he could have introduced her easily enough. Checking his watch, he saw that only 30 minutes and change until 4. There was no more wiggle room at this point. These articles need to get written and fast. He needed to get back to the editing department. So whatever happened to Chiaki? And yet, oh damn it all to hell! I can't get work done like this. Minorikawa broke into a run. But he didn't run for Heaven Publishing. Instead, he went after Miku. Why? I mean, yeah, you were kind of... Keep out. Great. You were kind of an ass, so maybe it's deserved. In that case... in that case, can I make the jump now? From here to here? I can. That guy. Okay, cool. Can I... Yes. Here. Yay! Okay. I can kind of see now why this time block is relatively shorter. Like, it's not shorter, but like the character sections are broken down. Like, Osawa starts at 15:30, and Achi kind of ends here at 15:30, and I think I understand why now. It's because you have to interact with the gameplay elements a little bit more. Well, actually, a lot more in this timeline. Like it's in this time block, it's so easy to mess things up that they're kind of like, here, we'll give you like a little contained section, and then just kind of mess around with it and play around with it. So that you don't get too overwhelmed by everything. So that's kind of why everything is structured the way that it is. Anyway. Running along Koendori in pursuit of Miku, Minorikawa heard a cell phone ringtone coming from somewhere near... Oh, shit. Are you gonna die? Oh. Well. Time to die. These other people here are... Those other people there are totally 100% dead. What the hell? Who cares about them? They don't have screen time, I guess. Suddenly, a massive fiery blast knocked him from his feet, a deafening roar. What was that? What's going on? He lay in a daze on the ground, just trying to wrap his mind around what had just happened. Somehow, thanks to Miku, he survived. He smelled the foul scent of burning rubber. Then came a sound of quick footsteps rushing up to him. Mr. Minorikawa! A voice called out to him, as if across an impossible distance. Mr. Minorikawa! Was that Miku? He forced his eyes open and saw Miku looking anxiously down at him. Mr. Minorikawa! Miku... Those things I said earlier... I'm sorry. I went too far. What are you talking about? That's not important right now. You could have died. Miku choked back a gasp, and Minorikawa realized that he had blood leaking from his mouth. Oh shit, well... this might be a bad end. Hello Saruka, I hope you've been well. Thank you for the lurk. Thank you, enjoy your stay. His body wouldn't move, and his mind was reeling. What happened? Tell me. Miku's voice was dry and hoarse. There was a minivan. It exploded. Exploded? A minivan exploded on a city street? That sounded like a terrorist act. His reeling mind drifted back to the attempted bioterrorist attack on Kasumigaseki 2 years earlier. We keep hearing about this, and we start hearing about this now of all times. An unoccupied minivan had exploded outside an MPD station, and afterward, a device meant to scatter a dangerous biological agent had been discovered on a near the subway. Blah, blah, blah. With sudden clarity, Minorikawa recalled what Osawa had said earlier. The power balance of the entire world might be at stake here. Could there be some sort of connection between Osawa's warning and this explosion?
There was. There had to be. Minorikawa's journalistic intuition told him it must be true. Something terrible was underway here in Shibuya. "Police!" a man in a suit announced. He crouched beside Minorikawa and gently lifted his head and torso. There he is! There he is! Shit. I gave Minorikawa and Kano the exact same voice. So, this is gonna be awkward. "Hang in there, buddy. Stay with us." The change in position allowed Minorikawa to clear his airway, and he sucked in a deep breath. Ah. But as he did, an intense pain shot through his lungs. I think I might be done for. Whatever his intuition might be telling him, it didn't look like he'd be able to write about it. But if he couldn't get his words onto the page, the least he could do was tell someone else. With his last act, he could still accomplish something. He strained to get a few words out. Osawa. Kenji Osawa. The power balance of the entire world. As his voice failed, he heard the sound of ambulance sirens approaching. Paramedics began frantically unloading stretchers. Turning his head, he saw a number of other people who'd been injured in the explosion laid out on the roadside. Okay, we are addressing that at least. I was like, well, Minorikawa wasn't the only one that died here, so... Amongst them were a woman and a child. Oh no, why? Emergency workers bearing a stretcher came over to Minorikawa. Forget about me. I'm beyond helping. See to the others instead. Minorikawa shouted inwardly, but no one heard. I don't think this is a bad end. I think this is the good end for him. Oh shit. I am so wrong. Maybe. Minorikawa chased Miku as far as Koen-dori, only to be caught in the blast when a minivan suddenly exploded. A few seconds later, someone who shouts to him at 15:30 needs to be changed and shout. Minorikawa hears something that grabs his attention. He may not get too close to the explosion. What are you talking about? What? At 30, someone says something to him. Can say something to him. It's not Osawa. Okay. I guess it could be Kano. I don't think it's Achi. Maybe? Maybe it is Achi? Ah, shit. Okay. This is what I mean. Like, there's so much more, like... You really have to think about this one. Otherwise, you can kind of get caught up making decisions that don't really matter at all. Hold on. A few simple words can change his fate. Someone who shouts something at 15:30 needs to change what it is that they shout. At 15:30. 15:30. 15:30. Does Kano shout something? Maybe. Maybe Achi shouts something. I don't think so. Maybe Maria shouts something. You know what? Let's go with Maria. The assassin has gone quiet. Sitting on a pile of crates, he seems lost in thought. Still, I don't try and mull the situation because just who am I? I ask myself again and again. I can't skip this. Okay. I am. Tama! I am... Hitomi? Tama Hitomi? None of the above? Tama Hitomi? Tama Hitomi. Tama Hitomi.
I turn at the sound of an exuberant voice and see Mr. Boss running my way, flailing his arm in a friendly greeting. Do you not see the guy with the gun who's sitting right there? I swear this guy could wind up banished to the pits of hell, and he'd still give it his all, day in and day out. Oh, thank goodness. It is Utama. I knew it. The man with the cane grumbles something incoherent, then holsters his gun and flees the scene. Wow, okay. Huh, now you're with some middle-aged guy? You look sweet and innocent, but I guess you kind of get around, huh? It's just a normal thing to say. Okay. Boss, nice timing. I do a little fist bump. Whatever he's doing here, I'm glad he drove that guy off with the gun. Drove off that guy with the gun. Blah, blah, blah. What are you so happy about? Boss gives me a puzzled look. But he's promptly distracted by his own excitement. Well, anyway, never mind that, Tama. He shifts down to a conspiratorial whisper. You know, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I was in such a tizzy over something silly scratch card from a magazine. I can tell he has news he's itching to tell me. Did something happen? Well... He brings a hand to his mouth and giggles unsettlingly. I have a great little idea. A great way to strike it rich. I feel like I've heard this from you before. Mr. Bosch shakes his head fervently. This time it'll be different. We're talking way more digits than before. Now, try not to be too surprised, yeah? Spittle flies from his mouth as he rattles on. Or, it's okay to be surprised, actually. In fact, I'm guessing you're definitely gonna be amazed at this, Tama. I can practically see the banknotes dancing in his eyes. Cut to the chase already. What is it you want to tell me? I've been thinking about, not this theme, but Achi's, like, guitar-centered themes, and, like, maybe learning one of those on guitar. It should be relatively simple, I think. The slow, somber one that plays during emotional scenes. So, I don't know. Something that I may do. This time, get this. I got a line on 10 million yen. He thrust his index finger skyward, grinning ear to ear. Surprised now? Yeah, you are. And it doesn't require any capital. It's no risk, high return. In a world of equity investment, a wise investor weighs risk against the potential for return. Many heavily risky projects, however, yield little in the way of actual returns. Such cases are called high risk, low return. The inverse, low risk, high return, is quite rare. The idea of no risk, high return is simply absurd. There's a crazy gleam in his eye. Amazing. I love her so much. She's so great. She's so perfect. Oh man, I'm finally going to be a part of the Billionaires Club. That is so ridiculous. I don't even hear a snappy retort for it. I don't even have a snappy retort for it. Never mind that 10 million obviously wouldn't make him a billionaire. By the way, you haven't seen Shiri, have you? We're gonna need her help to wrap up this 10 million yen. I mean, wouldn't Shiri want the money if she's the one doing all the eating? Shiri? No, I haven't run into her since the sales demo. Oh, darn. Well, if you do happen to see her, tell her to get in touch with me. Sure, alright. I still don't know what he's going on about, but there is probably no harm in being helpful. Thank you, Tama. I guess I may as well give you a little hint. A hint? Yeah, hints. Want to hear it? Sure, no, not particularly. Sure, whatever. Oh, sure. Thank you. Well then, I guess I got no choice. When you put it that way, I just have to tell you. Mr. Boss clears his throat and proceeds to declaim in an affected tone. What is what is this cutout? When the mighty stomach triumphs over the endless cavalier of icebergs. Words, the hero shall be blessed with fame and fortune.
Huh? What the heck is that supposed to mean? He looks inornately amused at my confusion.
It's part of a legend. You only need to remember that one verse for now. You're gonna bear witness to history.
I feel like this guy's right out of some kind of story himself.
Anyway, thanks for helping me out with the cheery thing. Adios.
Spanish for goodbye. The true meaning is closer to English farewell. In day-to-day interactions, most Spanish speakers use the word ciao. Adios can carry the connotation that you do not expect to see the addressee again. I remember, I don't know why. So I was taking basic Japanese in like high school, middle school, I think. And I was taking basic Japanese, and I knew that I don't know why, but I knew that sayonara is goodbye. And I knew that, and yet somehow I didn't actually pick up on the fact that sayonara is not Spanish until someone had to point that out to me, and I was like, holy shit, you're right. I don't know why. And that's it. I don't know how that happened. I guess it's like Western films where you get like adios sucker and sayonara sucker and stuff like that, and I don't know what happened there. My brain just got so crisscrossed over everything. How did you mix that up? I don't know. To this day, I remember it as one of the dumbest things one of the dumbest moments I've ever had. And then, like a whirlwind, Mr. Boss zooms away, leaving me alone in the alley. Phew. Suddenly, I feel totally exhausted. I let out a sigh and drop my eyes, and that's when I notice a notebook on the ground at my feet. Oh, right, we still have to get this. Did the assassin drop this? I pick it up and look inside. Yay, memories and friendship and people, woohoo. Okay, so we should get the same keep out. That was a very long detour, but we should get the same keep out and then make the jump from Achi, I think. And then from there, we can make more progress on the time block. Yippee! Oh, because I already did it, so I don't need to do it again. With that being the case, I guess I'll just go to wherever I can go. I can jump here. Right, yes. The raging heat makes the air shimmer. Wahoo, yay. I remember somebody. She was like, you need to help me. And I was like, I wanna teach you how to play Cat's Cradle. It's so awesome. It's so cool. She was like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? Gosh darn it, I have to tell you something important. People are gonna die. And I was like, haha, you're gonna be my friend forever and ever and ever. Yippee! I don't know if the time block ends after this. I don't remember where it ends, to be honest. Also, I can't remember now. Did Tama have a to be continued before? Before all this? Before we erased the timeline? Because we had to? I think she did. Kanan. Clanad. Clanad. It's like that one freaking visual novel. I think Clanad is on the backlog list, actually. I have it. Clanad? Clanad? I don't know. The word Kanan echoes in my mind as I think about a visual novel that has nothing to do with anything. Kanan? I utter the name aloud. Feel like for a brief moment I've lost my memories. I'm filled with a powerful sense of duty.
Even though I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. Calm down. Just calm down. Oh my gosh, I'm pleading with myself. Clannad, one of the first romance anime I've ever seen. Truly a classic. Oh, really? It was very... I think now with the influx of like a lot of anime, it doesn't get talked about as much, but I remember when it was really, really popular. So, surprisingly enough, I've never played the game. Well, at some point, we will probably play the game on stream. So there is that. Next game will be Jack and Daxter, but maybe after this game, maybe some Clannad. I know that it's... Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how the original goes. Holy shit, there is a Denny's in the background. I didn't even see that. There is a Denny's. Why is it just there? Okay. Anyway, yes. Like I was saying, I know that Clannad after story is supposed to be very, very sad, but I don't know anything about it. But the original Clannad, I don't know. I guess that's just like standard romance. I don't know what it's kind of about, but we will see. We will see when we get there. To be continued. Okay, so I got this to be continued before. I can still end up at a to be continued and have to change things, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. This happened earlier. It happened way earlier in one of the other time blocks with Osawa, I think. I'm not sure how I really love that. I think I would rather get a keep out, because keep outs tell me, well, you haven't necessarily made the correct choice here. To be continued feels finalized, and I hate when I have to go back and change things. But that's just a personal preference for me, I think. Otherwise, I think we're good. I think we're set with Maria. So, it's a lot of drama, that's all I can say. Okay. So, more serious, toned romance. Well, I'll be interested in checking it out. There won't be a romance stream this year, but there will be one next year. Hopefully I don't wait that long to play the game. Hopefully I don't wait that long. But, we'll see. We'll see. What the heck am I doing? Oh, right. Did you shout something? No, you didn't. You didn't shout anything. Shoot. Okay. Hitomi approaches the van. Oh, but you shout something. Okay. Does anyone else do anything? No, I don't think so. Okay, it's Achi then. There's some humor in it too, light humor. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. It's, I haven't... What was the one that I saw? I saw Charlotte? Like the... Because Key has... I think it's Key. Key has like a whole bunch of other visual novels. It's like... It's Clannad and Air, I think. Was it called Air or Aria or something? I don't know. Is it Little Busters as well? Yes, Air. Okay. Okay, cool. All those different ones. So, but I saw Charlotte's, and that was a wild ride. I've seen all their anime. I think I've seen all of them at least. Oh, okay. I see. So you're a big Key fan. Is it Key or Keynote or I don't know, that general thing. Key. Yeah. Okay. I'll try and get into some more of their visual novels, depending on what's there. It's dangerous to approach carefully. Hitomi, wait. Really? Okay. Hitomi, wait! Achi shouted. But she didn't appear to hear his cries. The hope of rescuing her sister had driven all else from her mind. And then, Achi started to run after her. Hitomi had reached the vehicle already. Let's in the grass of the debut. She slipped out of view for just a moment. Kaboom! Oh hey, it's the same shopkeep in the background. The same shopkeep that picks up trash, I think. All over the town. What the hell? Okay. This should all be the same, I think. It is. It is. We still get we still get this cool shot. With that said, this should be different now. Because you hear Hitomi and you're like, Hitomi, that's someone I have to interview. Yippee. Hitomi, wait! As he ran along Koen-dori after Miku, Minorikawa heard someone shout out a familiar name. Hitomi? It was a pretty common name. Ordinarily, he wouldn't have given it a second thought, but he remembered that one of Miss Midoriyama's winners was named Hitomi Osawa. That made him curious. Ringtone. He immediately recognized it as Aya Kamiki's song. His reporter instincts tingled. He stopped to take a look around. Stop being here, Minorikawa. You keep dying. You don't understand. I've seen the timelines. And one young woman caught his eye almost immediately. He couldn't assume that any pretty girl he saw was Miss Midoriyama. After all, it'd be a little too convenient if he just so happened to run into her now. Still, it didn't cost him anything to ask, "Are you Hitomi Osawa?" He might as well at least check. But to his own surprise, he hesitated in embarrassment. He'd never been too embarrassed to ask a question before. Really? Well, it doesn't matter. That's what's gonna save you, so good for you. He didn't get a chance to contemplate that realization. Kaboom! Hitomi was really close to that car. How did Kanan manage to pull that off? Where she was like, just happened to be there right in the nick of time. You still look dead to me. A fiery blast knocked him from his feet. A deafening roar set his head throbbing. What was that? What's going on? He lay in a daze on the ground, trying to wrap his mind around what had just happened. Behind him, there was a minivan, fiercely ablaze. A minivan. An explosion. The first thing to pop into his mind was 2 years ago, an occupied unoccupied. Okay, no one was harmed. It was super, super crazy when it happened, but oh well, we're not going to talk about that. The entire area was in an uproar. People were running around in panic. Minorikawa could see several injured people lying on the ground, unmoving. And yet, despite the gravity of the situation, numerous onlookers were casually taking photos with their cell phones. Minorikawa got to his feet, then went to try and get everyone away from the scene of the explosion. Hey, you guys, get back! There could be another bomb! Minorikawa looked around as he pushed back the crowd. He was getting the strong whiff of a scoop. He needed to write his copy ASAP, but he couldn't just turn his back on this situation now. Two young men were strolling toward the burning vehicle. Will we ever see Kiryu again? They had the look of juvenile delinquents. Their hair just made me think about it. It was like they look kind of like delinquents, so it was like, will we ever see Kiryu again? Is he even real? Whoa, what the heck? Is this for real? Ain't this dangerous? Like, for serious? For real? The pair tried to find the optimal vantage point. Hey, Minorikawa snapped. Don't get any closer. He spread his arms wide to hold them back. The young men came to a halt, but otherwise paid him no heed. Oh, this is bad. This is for real bad. Think this is a terrorist thing? Yo, get out your phone. Come on. But like, you think this is a terrorist thing? Dude, shut up. Just hurry up and call Susumu. Hey, Susumu. The taller of the two, dressed in red, was ordering the blue-clad companion. Huh? The boy in blue huffed. Man, do it yourself. Say what now? Bitch. Bitch. This ain't no time to get yourself worked up. Is the comic messenger bird new? So cute and sleepy. Yes, this is Juno, the friendly little messenger bird. She acts as the mascot for streams and stuff. So you'll probably see her around more as as more things get added to the stream. But yes, right now she is very cute and very sleepy eepy. So. Juno, I love her. Yeah, yeah. Cute little grandma burb. You know about Juno? Do you know? It's, yeah. The design was completed recently for my birthday stream, and I'm very happy with it, so. Minorikawa stood there, arms still held wide, getting more and more annoyed at their back and forth. Yo, just make the call, man. The young fellow in red scowled. He wasn't going to back down. Huh? Yo, what difference does it make if you do it or I do it? Doesn't make any difference, so it doesn't matter if you do it. Yeah, right, it don't matter. So in that case, you do it. We don't talk about you, no, 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 no. Oh man, that's a... It's so weird. That movie came out like 3 years ago or whatever. It's like, it still feels like a blast from the past. It's like, everyone was obsessed with it and then it died. And then it died. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good song though. It was a pretty good movie, to be honest. So... oh, I missed your B-Day, sorry. No worries, no worries. It was like a week ago. It was just low-key gaming. So, but thank you for the belated birthday wishes. I appreciate it. So. You've not seen it? It was pretty good, I will be honest. It's Encanto, right? Yeah. I would recommend it. I would recommend it if you have not seen it. Look, I'm telling you to just make the damn call. And I'm telling you to make it your damn self. Okay, I'm getting sick and tired of this conversation being fleshed out. Okay, enough of this already. Minorikawa opened his mouth to tell them off. But then the young man in red spoke again. Oh. Dude, the goods from over at Endo Electronics are gone. You gotta let Susumu know. The name Endo Electronics caught Minorikawa's attention. Huh? Yeah, but that ain't all that Achi dude's fault for getting all huffy at us. I mean, it was Kiryu. Kiryu mentioned, oh my gosh, he is real, he is alive. I mean, it was Kiryu who told us to go find the Endo storehouse. Yeah, but Susumu don't like dealing with stolen goods. Says it dirties the SOS name. Well, what a little coinky-dink. Looked like these two were SOS members, and they were just stupid enough to... They really are Yakuza NPCs. It's just like, let me just talk out loud about all the dealings and going-ons. It's like, sure. Hey, Minorikawa called out. You two. He finally succeeded in getting their attention. Where's this Susumu fellow? I'd like to talk to him. He had no idea who Susumu was, having only heard the name just now. Still, from the way these two were talking, it seemed clear that he held some position of leadership. Amazing face right now. You think I'd tell you if I knew? The fellow in red snarls. Minorikawa kept his composure. Listen, you guys know the Tenryu Gumi? The Tenryu Gumi? An up-and-coming Yakuza syndicate that turned up on the scene 10 years ago with a seemingly legitimate Takarada financing as its business front. The group offers monetary solutions for people in financial trouble, but those who accept their offers soon find that their troubles only grow and grow, embroiled in conflict with the Kanto Shiraminegumi, who have long been established in Shibuya. So it's like the Omi... Explain it to me in Yakuza terms. So it's like the Omi Alliance, right? And then the Tojo clan. Okay. These street kids were sure to be familiar with the name, if nothing else. I may not look like it, but I'm in pretty tight with the Tenryu Gumi. And maybe you two don't know it, but Susumu's been showing up at their office a lot lately. Has he? Was that mentioned? I guess that was mentioned at some point. I forgot about that. Susumu's been dealing with the Yakuza? Oh, for real? Sweet. The two bunks bought it completely. Okay, it's a lie. I bought it too. I'm stupid. What's SOS using as their hideouts these days? I've got a little something to discuss with Susumu. Hmm? Right now it's this bar called Inferno. Minorikawa made a mental note of the name. Right, and Inferno is where exactly? The two young men suddenly looked distinctly uncomfortable. Uh-oh. Later. Yeah, I got a thing to do, too. Backing away, they took off through the crowd. There comes Achi in the background being a friggin' badass. Hey, wait up! I need to know where Inferno is. But the pair had already vanished because they saw Achi. Ambulances began arriving at the scene, and paramedics rushed out to tend to the wounded. Excuse me, would you mind answering a few questions? Why didn't... Oh, hi Kano, hello. Why didn't Achi stay? It's like maybe Hitomi would have gotten treatment because she's seemingly unconscious. I mean, she's not that badly wounded, so I guess that's why. Also, it would be very bad for him and all of their missions, honestly, if Hitomi got caught up in anything. So, I guess that's why. Minorikawa turned to see a man in a suit approach him, flashing his badge. So, a detective with questions for him, huh? How about you answer a few questions for me? Was this an accident or an attack? We still don't know many details. Let me rephrase that for you. This is a major incident, Minorikawa exclaimed. Huh? The detective looked pretty flummoxed. I've been around the block a few times, and I know all your police PR lingo. And when you start talking about the details, I know 100% it's indicative of a major incident. Brushing aside Minorikawa's remark, the detective tried another question. Did you happen... I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do here. Usually if you have two characters with very similar voices and they're in the same scene, you try and make the other one higher and the other one lower. But they're both kind of in the same general thing, and they're also both male characters, and I can't sustain it, so I guess they're just getting the same exact voice. Did you happen to notice anything unusual prior to the explosion? Unusual? Minorikawa thought back to the moments before the minivan blew up. Now that you mention it, I heard a cell phone ringtone. The detective tilted his head. A ringtone? No, never mind. Forget that. There's no way the ringtone on someone's phone would be audible through all that. Minorikawa struck the thought from his own mind as he said it. That's me voicing multiple female voices. I know, right? It's like, I have the same two general voices for male characters, and it's just like, anything beyond that, I don't know, you're just fresh out of luck. Oh, in all likelihood, he's associated the ringtone and the explosion simply because one had happened right before the other. Gano. A large-statured Caucasian man had called out to the detective. Evidently, the detective's name was Kano. Thank you for your cooperation, he said with a bow. Then he ran over to the foreigner. Stanley looked so freaking bored. Just like, man, this sucks. Mr. Minorikawa! Minorikawa turned at a female voice behind him. He found Miku standing there. She looked like she'd been crying. Miku, about earlier. He trailed off, searching for an apology. It's okay, that doesn't matter right now. Miku looked around the scene. Minorikawa followed her gaze. Something big went down here. Oh, something big went down here, he said. I know, she exclaimed. The explosion. I saw it happen with my own eyes. You what? Miku looked around nervously. Are you all right? He asked her. You're not hurt, are you? I'm okay. My ears are still ringing a bit, is all. Good. So, what did you see at the time of the explosion? Miku assumed a thoughtful expression. There was this girl who was running toward the minivan. And then I think I saw this other Middle Eastern girl suddenly make a dive for her. And then the van just exploded. Wait, hold on, Minorikawa said. So, if I'm getting this right, it sounds like this Middle Eastern girl saved the girl who was running up to the van. Miku nodded. Just then, Minoru Kawa's phone chimed. He'd received an email. It was from it was from Chiaki. We haven't seen her in like 10 years. So we were kind of due for a check-in.
Mr. Mino, are you still working on your copy?
He checked his watch. At this point, 4 o'clock. The 4 o'clock deadline was barely 20 minutes away. You're just gonna walk it off. Walk the explosion off and just get to writing copy. Nonetheless, he decided to stay at the bomb scene. Oh, okay. He could definitely smell a scoop here. He was sure of it. Even if he couldn't get his 6 pages done by 4, landing a major scoop should be enough to persuade the loan company. Minorikawa jotted his phone number down and handed it to Miku. I'll make things up to you, he said. Give me a call later. Miku took the scrap of paper, puzzled. If you're looking for an Aiki Jujutsu dojo, I know a few. At that, her face lit up. Minorikawa decided to process the scene for clues. As he wandered around, he caught sight of Detective Kano and his Caucasian colleague. Blah, blah, blah. That's a tongue twister. Heading down an alley. What's that I smell? Something pretty damn fishy. If they were slipping away for a private conversation, maybe there was some way he could listen in. Minorikawa hurried into one of the buildings that bordered the alley. He looked around and found a public bathroom upstairs on the alley side of the building. Hoping beyond hope, he slipped into the bathroom window. He slipped up to the bathroom window? I think so. Voices outside. He held his breath and listened. Those international criminals you mentioned? Kano's words were faint, but he could make them out. Minorikawa did a little fist bump. Yeah, go me, I'm awesome. Correct. Roughly 8 hours ago, they infected Maria Osawa with the UA virus. Then, they let her loose somewhere in Shibuya. Hold on. By UA, you mean... The discussion involved some terms Minorikawa wasn't familiar with. He focused all his mental energy on what the two were saying. This is a killer virus with a 100% mortality rate once it takes hold. 100%? Minorikawa muttered to himself. The shock caused him to unclench the fist he didn't realize he made. This wasn't just an interesting conversation. It was monumental. It has an incubation period of 12 hours. In another 4 hours, Maria Osawa will go symptomatic. After that, she'll begin spreading the UA virus through the city. Wait, what? Hold on. I must have blacked out. Hold on. Oh, okay. Oh. I thought they said Hitomi, and I was like, oh yeah, well, Hitomi, I don't know. Hitomi got the, some form of, I'm forgetting what it's called now. The vaccine. So she should be safe, even though she got it before she may have caught it. I don't know. But Maria has it. In another 4 hours. Okay, that's Isn't that really bad for everyone that she's ever met? Am I crazy? Or like, Boss, Cheery, are they all gonna be safe? How did she survive? How did she survive long enough to friggin' do the eating competition in that one bad ending? She's like, wow, I just love eating. It's so great, so awesome. One has the vaccine and the other has the virus. Now that sucks. And no, she's only contagious once she gets symptomatic. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's how it works. The bad ends are non-canon though. Yeah, but I still like to think about them. It's just like, so how did that work? Okay. So it'll only matter in 4 hours. Well, boss, you better stay away. Stop having ideas. It's capable of airborne transmission? if we don't administer Kenji Osawa's antiviral before she develops symptoms. Yes? Everyone in Shibuya is going to die. Minorikawa felt goosebumps rise over his body. If they were talking about a virus and a Kenji Osawa, it could only mean that Kenji Osawa. Or you can assume someone found it and cured her without giving her her memory back. I guess. Yeah, it's possible. I guess I would have to know more about the players in the story. But that's also possible in the non-canon, again, bad endings. So he recalled what Osawa said earlier about the power balance of the world being at stake. There was no about to doubt it. This was a tremendous scoop. Well, then we need to find Maria Osawa and get the antiviral to her as soon as possible. Just calm down. There's more to the story that... it's starting to leak out! The door swung open loudly and someone came barging into the bathroom. Why are you like this? It was Boss. Why him again, and why here of all places? Oh, I'm leaking here! Boss was on the verge of hysterics. His voice must have been audible outside. Kano and his companion went to take their discussion elsewhere. And they'd just been getting to the good parts. You son of a bitch! Enraged, Minorikawa grabbed Boss and tossed him to the floor. I'm leaking! Shut your mouth! He pulled with all his strength into an ankle hold and gave a good twist. A professional wrestling technique that involved grabbing the opponent by the ankle, being caught up like this can be extremely painful. I can imagine. That sounds like it would suck. It also puts a lot of pressure on the lower body. If you're already fighting the urge to urinate, well, let's just let him go to the bathroom at least. Boss wailed. He's grabbing the urinal. He's just like, please, let me go. So... Hey, a callback to Kurt Angle. Minorikawa left the idiot blubbering in the bathroom and hurried out of the building. Make sure to wash your hands before it, if you're gonna touch Boss. He hadn't heard the whole discussion, but he had a scoop on his hands anyway. This would be a tremendous score for Heaven Publishing, enough to let the company rebuild. He was certain of it. And if I'm the one saying it, it's gotta be true. As he ran along, Minorikawa tried to plan his next steps. First, he had to get back to the editing office. He'd explain the situation to the people at the loan company. Then he'd find that paperwork for Osawa and have Chiaki check his copy. Oh, okay. And then after that... Okay, he still had a lot of things he needed to do. He swatted himself on both cheeks to get himself psyched up. A normal ringtone? That doesn't exist. That's not real. His phone rang. It was Chiaki. Mr. Mino, something terrible has happened. Chiaki's voice was a broken yelp. Whoa, calm down. Over on Koendori, this minivan exploded. Yeah, I'm well aware. Thanks to that, I've got a big scoop that... Chiaki cut him off. Just now, I got a call from Mr. Toyama's daughter, Hana. This time, Minorikawa waited for her to finish. He had a sinking feeling. She said that Mr. Toyama was in there. What? 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 Oh! Yeah, you don't meet with... Okay, so you don't meet with Hana in this timeline. With that being the case, I guess it's entirely possible that he could have been inside the van. Are you sure he was inside the van? Because if that's the case, he's super mega dead. It was a suicide! I don't know. I don't believe that. Minorikawa's knees buckled. Tell me you're joking. No, I mean, the van explosion is all over the news, and Hana was in tears on the phone, and... This is just Hana's worst day.
Mr. Mino? Mr. Mino, are you still there?
Toyama had killed himself. Is this a bad end? It can't be. Minorikawa felt the energy drained from his body. Oh, it's a bad end, isn't it? Oh, it's a to be continued. Okay. Okay, so rest in peace to him. He's just definitely dead. Okay. Alright, somehow that still worked. Well, that is 3 of the 5 down. Yay. Interesting. Okay. I don't think Toyama was in there. I think it was someone else, right? I think it had to be. Better than a bad end? Alright, that means it's canon. It's canon in the sense of this last thing is definitely canon. Everything else before this could be non-canon, but I don't know. I don't know anymore. I think that everything looked correct enough, so I think we're all in the clear. Let's go ahead and we're gonna jump to, Hello? Can I not make the jump? Oh, I have to play forward and then make the jump from there. Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna go, use the bathroom and drink a little bit of water because my voice is getting scratchy. And then when we come back, we'll be continuing with Kano and Osawa and their story and sort of finishing up the time block as promised, as said. So let me go over to Burb Screen. Alright, cool. If you are here, it's been a while since I've taken a break during stream. I feel like I've just been kind of going and going and going. But yes, now, for real, I will be taking a break. If you are here, go ahead and stretch, get some water, do all that good stuff. I'll be right back in like 5 minutes or so. So, yeah, see you then. Alright, I am back. I am back. Let me switch over to game screen. Cool. Am I tabbed into the game? Am I? I think I am. Cool. Right, let's continue with Kano's story. Thank you for the welcome backs. Ow. Suddenly, a boom as loud as cannon fire shook the area. Something's wrong, Kano thought. That's no ordinary city noise. A column of black smoke rose up from between the two nearby buildings. Passerby stopped and stared, gasping in alarm. I don't know why. I find Stanley's face so interesting here. He's just really like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Oh, there's Minorikawa. Hey. Then Kano saw flames. This hadn't been an accident. Someone had set off an explosion. The Shibuya precinct wasn't too far from here. Kano recorded the yes, and already shouts rose up as they took in the scene. You have an interesting face. Yeah, he does. He does in that scene because usually he's so like stone cold, I guess. So in that scene, it's very interesting. What's going on? What happened? The car's on fire! Kano called in to HQ, then quickly slipped around to the back of the burning vehicle. It was a minivan. Peering at the flaming chassis, he could see that there was something inside. There was someone inside. Oh no. Could that be Hitomi? Once they had their hands on the antiviral, the criminals would have no further use for Hitomi Osawa. Already, the body had been charred to ash. At this point, it was hardly recognizable as human anymore. And then I gotta keep out. Yippee! Alright, now we can make the jump. Alright, right back to Kano again. Several people were lying on the ground nearby, evidently injured by the explosion. A girl in a hoodie was crouched among them, doing her best to tend to their injuries. Aw. Miku Morita, while walking along, upset at Minorikawa. Why can't I jump back here? Why? Why? Wait, what? Why? There's so much noise in the background. There's so many people grunting. I don't need to jump, do I? It looks like we're good. Miku Morita, while walking along, upset at Minorikawa for not introducing her... Not my voice. Tickets! Give me a second. Give me a second. These are just the noisiest NPCs in the world. Alright, cool. My voice is dying, so that's always a good sign, especially when the game is not voice acted at all. While walking along, upset at Minorikawa for not introducing her to an Aiki Jujutsu dojo, she happened across the aftermath of a minivan explosion. Unable to stand idly by when faced with such a horrific scene, she pitched in as best as she could to help the wounded. Interesting. So, can you somehow get to Kano before getting to Minorikawa? Like, why is this here? Awesome. Oh, maybe if I hadn't done all of Minorikawa's first, I would need to make that jump. Because I would get another keep out. Okay, maybe that's how it works. A girl in a hoodie was crouched among them, doing her best to tend their injuries. Kano recognized her as the girl he talked to earlier during the traffic jam. "Please," he announced. "Get back. Let me handle this." The girl was visibly relieved. "Help her," she said. She pointed to a figure lying on the sidewalk a short distance from the burning minivan. "Oh, Kanan." It was a Middle Eastern girl. She appeared to be unconscious. "I think she got hurt rescuing another girl, about college age," the girl in the hoodie said. A college-age girl? That might be Hitomi. "What happened to the girl she saved?" Kano asked. The Good Samaritan looked around. "Huh? Where'd she go?" The rescuee had disappeared. "This girl here," the girl in the hoodie gestured to the fallen girl. "I can't believe how fast she was." She spoke with a hint of awe. "The way she moved to get to that other girl. She was on a level beyond mine." Kano took another look at the injured girl. Her figure looked rather delicate. It was hard to believe that she was capable of great feats of athleticism. He started toward her, but Stanley stepped ahead of him. "Leave this one to me," he said. His expression was unusually stern, even for himself. "Do you know her?" Kano asked. The American didn't answer as he checked the girl's pulse and then her pupils. "Hey, Stanley." "Don't you have other things you should be doing?" Stanley snapped. Fine then. Kano decided to collect some eyewitness accounts. Ah, dang. Havoc. Patrol cars and ambulances arrived at the scene in a steady stream. Once the vehicle fire was under control, things gradually began to calm down. Several officers worked to cover the area around the burned minivan with a blue tarp. Kano got his questioning underway, starting by flashing his badge at the man near the front of the crowd. "Excuse me, would you mind answering a few questions? Oh boy." A man puffed himself up. "How about you answer a few questions for me? Was this an accident or an attack?" "We still don't know many details," Kano admitted. The man shoved a finger right in his face. "Let me rephrase this for you. We have the exact same voice." And I'm just going to skip over this because I just read it. Because this is awkward. Oops. "Well, I sure picked the wrong guy to try and talk to." Stifling his frustration, Kano continued his questioning. "Unusual. A ringtone. It was like Aya Kamiki, you know, that famous pop singer. Everyone knows her." "Kano, it was Stanley. Perfect timing." "Thank you for your cooperation," Kano told the man. Then he hurried on his way. Stanley stepped in close enough to whisper. "Who was that guy?" "An eyewitness to the explosion, apparently." "Did he have any info?" "He said he heard a cell phone ringtone at the time of the explosion. Not sure if that's significant, though." Stanley stood silently for a moment, thinking. "What about that girl?" Kano asked. "Has she woken up?" "No. I'm going to drive her to the hospital." "I don't believe you." "Huh? Why do that yourself?" "Just look around," Stanley said. He cast his eyes over the scene. There were many injured people lying on the roadside. It seemed the authorities hadn't sent enough ambulances. "But isn't your car back in Maruyamacho?" Kano asked. "Under the circumstances, I think it makes sense for me to go back for it," Stanley replied coolly. "You're so suspicious." I don't know. Is he really a bad guy? Huh. Besides, I have a few things I'd like to ask her. Kano was curious. "You do?" he asked. Stanley's cell rang. "It's not Aya Kamiki? Who the hell are you? You're evil for sure." "Yes," Stanley answered the phone in English. As he listened, his demeanor changed. The blood drained from his face, and his hand began to tremble slightly as it gripped the phone. Kano had never seen him this shaken up. "You got it," Stanley said at last.
He hung up the phone and let out a sigh.
What is it? Kano asked.
Stanley headed into an alleyway without responding. Kano hurried after him. Once they were out of earshot of the crowd, Stanley finally spoke.
That call right now was from my Gordon. Was from Gordon. I was like, from my Gordon. It's like, oh boy. Reading is sure fun. The call right now was from Gordon, my superior.
He broke off there and for a long while was silent. He appeared to be struggling with some strong emotion. Kano was getting impatient. You don't have to. No, you definitely need to tell me. No more secrets. Kano was getting impatient. What is it? If you're going to tell me something, then tell me.
All right, Stanley said at last. I can trust you with this.
Wow, never thought I'd hear you say that you trust me, Kano teased. But Stanley's expression remained dead serious.
We were contacted on our end by the mastermind of this plot.
Really? Those international criminals you mentioned?
Correct. Roughly 8 hours ago, they infected Maria Osawa with the UA virus. Then they let her loose somewhere in Shibuya.
Hold on. By UA, you mean... Kano thought back to his earlier conversation with Stanley. These criminals were trying to get their hands on a new drug, an antiviral drug developed by Kenji Osawa. I thought that the jump would be there for sure, to be honest. Because he currently has a keep out. An antiviral drug developed by Kenji Osawa that had been shown to be effective against the UA virus. Stanley hesitated before continuing.
This is a killer virus with a 100% mortality rate once it takes hold. Kenji Osawa's antiviral is our only means of combating it.
A mortality rate of 100%?
It has an incubation period of 12 hours. In another 4 hours, Maria Osawa will go symptomatic. After that, she'll begin spreading the virus through the city.
It's capable of airborne transmission. Following the onset of symptoms, individuals infected with the UA virus bleed from the lungs, and the virus is readily released into the air via coughing. The UA virus is highly resilient in the open air and can survive even after saliva and other fluids have evaporated. Simply getting within 2 meters of a symptomatic patient is said to carry a high risk of infection. Bodily fluids from deceased patients carry an especially high concentration of the virus, and anything contaminated with such fluids must be thoroughly sterilized before it is safe.
That is terrifying.
Stanley nodded.
If we don't administer Kenji Osawa's antiviral before she develops symptoms.
Yes?
Kano's voice was trembling now.
Stanley spoke with complete certainty.
Everyone in Shibuya is going to die.
Well, then we need to find Maria Osawa and get the antiviral to her as soon as possible, Kano said, panicking. Stanley remained cool.
Just calm down. There's more to the story that...
Stanley was interrupted by a strange sound from the upper floors of a nearby building. Unsure of what it was, the two men hurriedly relocated.
Mr. Boss, why?
They paused when they came to a vacant lot. The place was deserted. No need to worry about being overheard here.
You said there was more to the story, Kano prompted. The antiviral in question is stored in Kenji Osawa's laboratory. The lab is protected by a sophisticated security system, and apparently the storage area where the drug is kept requires fingerprint authentication from both Osawa and Tanaka.
What? But Tanaka's...
Kano couldn't help but gasp. Tanaka was currently a fugitive, the prime suspect in the kidnapping case. Yeah, that's awkward. There was no chance of getting any fingerprint authorization from him at this stage. Didn't Freaking. Oh gosh, I forget. Osawa's father-in-law did say something about like, hey, we have other means of getting into there other than that, but no one else would have access to it. I don't know if he was bluffing in that scene, but he did mention it. So, is there any other way to get in? Kano asked. The door can also be unlocked via password in place of the fingerprint scanner, but we'd still need to know what Tanaka chose for his password. No. In any event, Stanley said, it's essential that we track down and secure Maria. But, he went on, his voice grave. Even if we get Maria to safety, the mastermind is now in possession of the UA virus. If they want to, they can unleash a bioterrorist attack on Shibuya at any time. Ooh, that's bad. To put it bluntly, the lives of every man, woman, and child in this city are in their hands. Kano felt a pulse of fear deep enough to give him vertigo. He slowly tilted his head back. There's my alarm. Hush. Hush, this is a very tense scene right now. Be quiet. He slowly tilted his head, tilted back his head, and gazed at the sky, vast and blue as always. There had to be tens of thousands of people in Shibuya right now. I thought it was my own alarm. No, I have an alarm. It goes off every day at 9:30 my time. And it's very fun because I never turn it off for stream. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. It will ring. Rumi and Shizuo were among them. And they might all be dead within a day. It felt so unreal, Kano's mind almost couldn't process it. With an effort of will, he shook himself out of his daze. There was no time to waver. We have to try, he said. In the next 4 hours, we need to find Maria Osawa and figure out a way to stop this mastermind and the UA virus. At this point, this is chat's alarm. True. Daily reminder, go drink some water. If you have not already, drink some water. If you have had some water, drink some more. Drink some more of it. The words were as much for himself as they were for his companion. Let's do this, Stanley. We might not always see eye to eye, but together, I feel like you and I can find a way. But Stanley averted his gaze. My job here is simply to apprehend the mastermind. Yeah, but what if you catch the virus and die? Kano felt a resurgence of his earlier anger at Stanley. Once again, he was putting his duties above human life. Drink some yourself too, Courie. Yes, I have my water here. I have my water bottle. And I will probably drink even more after stream as well. Probably get like some tea. So, I'm sorry. Stanley's voice was a quiet mutter. You should get away from Shibuya as soon as possible, Kano. Kano hadn't imagined that the American would ever be worried for him. I appreciate the warning, he said, but I'm seeing this through to the end. This isn't the sort of thing you can just solve with an effort of willpower. Even so, giving up isn't the Japanese detective way. Stanley let out a nasal chuckle. Back to that again, are we? Same to you. Kano managed a tiny chuckle of his own. Listen, Stanley went on after a moment. This is just between you and me. The mastermind behind this kidnapping case is an arms dealer who goes by the name Alphard. Beyond simply selling weapons, illegal arms dealers are also frequently involved in smuggling weapons unlawfully obtained through deals with governments or military contacts. In recent years, such enterprises have become increasingly globalized. Some dealers form smuggling networks that also deal with money laundering, drug trafficking, and more. We still don't know who this Alphard person is. Alphard? The attempted bioterrorist attack on Kasumi Gaseki, a hotel bombing in Chicago. Wait, what? Alphard had a hand in all of them. We didn't hear about Chicago, did we? What do you know about this criminal? Kano asked. Stanley's expression grew even darker. Just a shadowy figure. Ugh. Look at me, I'm so evil. Alphard's signature is extremely meticulous and planning. But I don't mean meticulous in the same way you and I might normally think of it. Their plans are perfectly imperfect. Do you get what I mean? Oh, Kano was saying this earlier, and I was like, I don't... What are you talking about? Kano shook his head. Alphard deliberately engineers accidents to make them complicated and unpredictable. It's difficult to get a good grasp of what's going on when the situation seems to be falling apart. People tend to not consider that coincidental mishaps might be anything but. In the end, they don't even realize they were playing right into the mastermind's hands all along. The music's really good here. I like the music in this game. I do. I like it a lot. I'll have to listen. I mean, for both games, for both Thousand Resist and this game as well, I have to listen to like the full soundtracks for each of them because I really like it. Especially all of Achi's themes are really, really good. So, Kano could hear the intensity in Stanley's voice. I'm afraid that's all I can say. Stanley held out his right hand. See you around, Kano, if we're still alive. If we're still alive. Kano let that sink in for a moment. Nah, I'll shake your hand. After we finish this case. With a slight smile, Stanley withdrew his hand. Yeah, cool, now we're bros. Then the two bumped fists instead. All right, we'll meet again, Kano. I'm sure of it. Yeah, see you then. I like the Stanley Kano dynamic. I think it works pretty well. It's interesting because it starts off with like the Sasayama Kano dynamic, and I'm like, that's pretty good too. And then they just kind of abandon it, and I was like, who the fuck is this? Jack Stanley. But he's actually pretty good in terms of the, you know, like character interactions and stuff. So, no sooner had Stanley departed than Kuze's words came in over the wireless. Oh boy, my favorite character to voice. What? Wait, that's actually really important. The director's voice sounded strangely cold and high-pitched as always. What the fuck? Hold on, sir. Sir? Kano shouted. Could you let us know why? That this is just literally an Animal Crossing villager. It's just like, yeah, whatever. The squeaking always gets me. It's, you know what? I just decided to keep it for the entire character. I think it works. That matched up with what Stanley had said earlier. Terrorism involving biological agents such as bacteria or viruses. Biological weapons are easier to acquire and transport than nuclear weapons, and because they rely on an organism's natural ability to proliferate or infect, they can yield powerful results for low effort. For these reasons, recent years have seen widespread apprehension about the possibility that such weapons might be used by terrorists. In the event that a bioterrorist attack occurred in Japan, temporary quarantine and decontamination facilities would be set up in the area affected. I just read a bunch of words and I don't know what they mean. No, it's not. We haven't managed to solve anything. Kuze's voice had a cautionary tone. Director!
but the line had already gone dead. Left at a loss, Kano gazed out at the cityscape. I thought for sure there would be a jump here by now. We have to go back to Osawa eventually. Somehow. The sight of the bombed vehicle had calmed down briefly, but now that the news networks had begun reporting, the herd of onlookers was growing. There was a sizable crowd gathered outside the large home electronics store. The large LCD televisions on display were showing a press conference being held by the governor of Tokyo. Kano might learn something new about the case. Absolutely not. We have to go and learn something new about the case. Kano might learn. Imagine saying all of that to Stanley and be like, we're gonna meet up after this case is finished, and be like, nah, you know what? Fuck it. I don't know. I'm just gonna take Rumi and we're just gonna get out of here. Kano might learn something new about the case. He decided to watch the broadcast. Very closely with the administration, we are keeping a careful eye on the situation as it develops. The voice acting from Courie is top-notch. The range. Thank you, I appreciate it. I still have a lot to get better at, unfortunately. And I'm hoping to somehow, I don't know how I can get better at, like, the different things that I struggle with. But at least people are enjoying the little voices that I put on, so. The governor's expression was solemn as he spoke. Just practice, probably? Yeah. It's, I guess it has to be intentional practice, but it's still pretty difficult sometimes. The moment he finished his statement, the reporters bombarded him with questions. This seems similar to the bioterrorist attack on Kasumi-Gaseki 2 years ago. Is there a possible connection? What countermeasures do you have in the event that Shibuya is the target of bioterrorism? The governor was visibly disconcerted. If this attack does turn out to be a bioterrorist attack, we will establish emergency shelters with a large-scale quarantine station at Yoyogi Park. However, there are still many details that remain unknown. The politician was clearly struggling to maintain his composure. Can you comment on the rumors we've been hearing about Shibuya that might be... Don't be ridiculous! The governor barked. What outlet are you with? Are you trying to start a panic when we don't even know all the details? Besides, it wouldn't be possible to blockade the whole of Shibuya. Well, I guess it... I don't know. I don't know. Yakuza Dead Souls says otherwise. You can barricade a town. It'll be fine. Just go ahead and do it. The press conference continued. The governor and the reporters locked in a belligerent back and forth. Kano left the electronics store and headed for the cafe where Rumi and Shizuo were waiting. He had to tell them both to get far away from Shibuya. We have still not seen Rumi's face at all. The Café La Trique seemed quiet when Kano arrived. Shizuo was sitting alone. Why? Where is Rumi? Why can we not see her? How is this possible? Kano scanned the establishment but didn't see Rumi anywhere. One of the staff greeted him. Welcome, just one, sir? No, I'm greeting someone, actually. Of course, sir. The hostess smiled, then went on her way. Shizuo was glaring at him. Kano walked over to him and bowed deeply. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm Shinya Kano. You look even more of a knuckle dragger than I thought. Shizuo maintained his appraising stare. Rumi had something she needed to do, so she stepped away for a while. He said after a long moment. Why? Why? How can this be possible? Is Rumi the final boss? Rumi's the
Rumi is Alphard. Sure. Why not? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Kano sat down across from him. Right now, the laptop is in sleep mode, and there's nothing on the monitor. But just before Kano came in, Shizuo had been browsing an internet forum. He takes his user handle from a nickname for apples that he grows in his own farm, which are pretty little things, and nearly as sweet as honey. I keep hearing Rumi instead of Rumi. My bad. Why are we not allowed to see her? Also, yes, you're a fan of Aya Kamiki. Why are we not allowed to see her? What is she doing? The waitress came by to take Kano's order, so he asked for an iced coffee. What are you using the computer for? Kano asked. I'm on the internet. Shizuo's voice was low and gruff. This cafe has an internet connection? May as well start with a little small talk. Really? Do we have time for it? So what? Again, Shizuo glared at Kano. I just... The words couldn't come. No, actually, this is no time to be making idle chit-chat. If they got infected with the virus, Rumi and Shizuo might die. I mean, it's not that they might. They will die. It's 100% mortality. Look. Please, you need to leave Shibuya right away. Shizuo's face contorted with confusion. What are you talking about? Why? Kano wasn't sure if he could tell the truth or not. He was strictly prohibited from discussing a case with anyone outside the department. As a former policeman himself, Shizuo ought to understand full well the secrecy of an investigation required. Blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't like he'd just up and leave town without a good reason. Please listen, Kano said. I see a save. I now see choices. There's a risk of a bioterrorist attack. Listen, there's a risk of... What's that? What I mean is, risk of... Shizuo pounded his fist on the table. Spit it out! Kano just couldn't say it. It didn't matter who he was talking to. He couldn't make himself leak the details of an ongoing investigation. Besides, there was no guarantee a bioterrorist attack would actually happen. Yeah, but it's just to say, please get out of Shibuya. If they could just find and secure Maria Osawa before she went symptomatic. Does this have anything to do with the case you're working? Huh? You're telling me to leave Shibuya. Does that have something to do with your case? Yes, Kano admitted. So why don't you run off with Rumi then? Shizuo's tone was frank. Well, I mean... When Kano didn't have an answer handy, Shizuo let out a single heavy sigh. Is your work important to you? He asked. Kano hesitated. Is it more important than Rumi? Well... Again, Shizuo cut Kano off as he waffled over how to answer. Me? I used to put my work before my family. There was no question in my mind that combating society's ills and solving cases was worth any price. And because of that, I did some pretty reckless things. Almost wound up dead more than once. Oh, you have no idea. You have not seen the other timelines and the other endings. Shizuo paused, a forlorn look in his eyes. My wife did nothing but worry about me. So much that I didn't even realize when she'd worried herself sick. Oh, she's... Okay, she didn't... I see. So she's not, I thought that they had divorced, and that's why he was so gung-ho about this, but she's actually dead. Okay. I was so caught up in my work that I wasn't even there for her when she finally passed away. It was all so very absurd to me. The waitress came by and set Kano's iced coffee on the table. It sat there, untouched, until Shizuo looked at it pointedly. With a tiny nod, Kano brought the cup to his lips. The bittersweet liquid was a balm to his parched throat. I told Rumi the same story. Shizuo continued. But I didn't tell her how absurd it was. I told her that her father only did what he had to do. He took a sip from his glass of water. Rumi, she's very much like her mother used to be. Their personalities are almost identical. And I don't want her to suffer the same way my wife did. Shizuo's fist clenched in his lap. What was it that made you become a detective in the first place? He asked. Well, at first, I got a job because I thought it would make Rumi happy. And then I guess also because I thought it'd make you like me, sir. It was the truth, but Shizuo simply chuckled. If your goal is to get me to like you, you may as well give up now. I'm sorry, sir, Kano said. I can't do that. Are you this stubborn around Rumi? Shizuo grumbled. I love your daughter, sir. I want to keep her safe, to make her happy. And why is that? Whenever I think about her, I just feel so amazing. I'm sure that you or anyone can sympathize with that. Everyone has someone they want to protect who makes them feel that good. Who's talking right now? It's an admirable thing, wanting to be a detective and protect the happiness of the people. But that doesn't mean you need to ignore your own happiness in the process. What you say might be true, sir. Earlier today, my partner was stabbed. And today's his wife's birthday. Shizuo arched his brow. Is he going to make it? We're not sure yet. He'll be fine. I can see it now. Last I knew, he was in critical condition. This is why I keep saying that the life of a detective is... Shizuo's words trailed off into a lamenting murmur. Even so, Kano was unmoved. Dictum number 1. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Ever. What's that? Something a senior detective I admire very much said. He's missing, by the way. It's a fundamental guiding principle I've stuck to as a detective. But I was wrong about the real meaning behind it. My partner was stabbed. There are people I want to rescue. So much has happened, and now I finally understand what those words mean. When you see someone in trouble, you help them. That's not something a good detective does. That's something a good person does. Kano took a good long look at Shizuo's face. He had surprised himself, finding the words to speak his feelings so clearly, and he wondered what effect it would have on the older man. I'm sure that, from your perspective as my future father-in-law, my being a detective means I'm putting my life on the line. But that's not entirely true. I can only be myself. This is the kind of person I am. I care about helping people. Even if I were a baker, or a brewer, or a bookseller, I'd still act the same way. You're being ridiculous. A baker and a detective don't assume anywhere near the same risks. I suppose that's true. Kano fussed with his hair sheepishly. Shizuo grumbled. I think I see what kind of man you are now. He sounded oddly defeated. Which is why now is no time to just futz around. Kano sat up straighter at Shizuo's weighty tone. A detective needs more than just passion. A detective can't solve all his problems with sheer determination alone. But at the same time, he needs more than just the ability to coldly assess a situation. He needs the conviction to stick to a case when it might be otherwise seem prudent to give up. True, if a baker messes up, that's so many people's mornings ruined. True! Have you ever thought about that, Shizuo? People can't eat. If they can't eat, they can't do a good job. Just like if people die. They can't do a good job. Sure. That's the connection I'm going with.
There was something new in Shizuo's expression now, and a gleam in his eyes that hadn't been there before. Kano almost felt like he was being sermonized to by a senior officer. You got that? You need a cool mind, but a fiery spirit. A detective without both of those is worth nothing. Do you mind if I write that down in my notebook here? Look, Shizuo said, sounding suddenly embarrassed. Aren't you in a hurry? Don't you have to get back to your case? Aren't people gonna die, Kano? Yes, and sir, please, I need you and your daughter to leave Shibuya right away. Yeah, I hear ya. Kano conjured up Rumi's face in his mind. There was a chance he might never see her again. He forced the thought away as best he could. By the way, if I may ask, Shizuo said, what was it about Rumi that made you fall in love with her? What? Where's this coming from all of a sudden? Was it her looks? No, it wasn't just that. Kano found himself tongue-tied again. I mean, she is pretty cute. Even if this is my own daughter we're talking about. Shizuo shocked him by grinning from ear to ear. Well, yes, she sure is, Kano replied. But it's more than just that. She's also very sweet and kind-hearted. She is, isn't she? Yeah, she really is. For the first time, Kano and Shizuo smiled at one another. Aw. You're a kind man who lets his emotions show on his face, Shizuo said. And for a detective, that's not so bad. You're the same way, sir. Thank you, sir, Kano said. He bowed to Shizuo as he stood up from his seat. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, huh? I like that. Wise words indeed. Kano turned to look back, then bowed deeply to Shizuo one last time. Aw, that was a good scene. That was a really good scene. Okay, I need a jump to get over to Osawa. Start thinking, Kano. Start thinking, please. The ability to coldly assess a situation. Kano knew what he needed to do. There was one thing that was nagging at him. No matter how hard he thought about it, it still didn't add up. Why would Tatano, yes, Tatano, I keep forgetting his name. Why would Tatano let Aokawaran go free? He needed to get back to the precinct and get the truth from Aokawaran firsthand. As he walked along, he considered what he did know about the facts of the case. Just what sort of plan had Alphard put into motion here? It seemed that Tanaka and Osawa held the keys to understanding it. There had been relay handoffs of the phony attaché case. Yeah, there was. Wait, was Alphard is Alphard that one guy that we met in the train station like a very long time ago? He was like, "Oh yes, hello, wonderful day we're having." Mwaha. Maybe it's that guy. We saw him for like all of 5 minutes and he didn't do anything. And he just kind of walked away. Maybe it's him. A relay that Tanaka had been complicit in. I think so. I remember an Alf. Maybe it is him. I don't know. Did they refer to him as like an Alphard? Or I don't know. Then there was Hitomi missing, carrying the antiviral. Osawa, thank God. Thank God. Alright, we're gonna continue. Osawa had confirmed that himself. Kano was starting to form a vague picture of what Alphard was up to. If the mastermind's goal was to acquire the antiviral, then obtaining the cooperation of Osawa and Tanaka was vital to that plan. After all, their fingerprint verification was required to physically access the drug. I don't remember anything too. Yeah, this game
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. We've been playing this game for a while. Facts get jumbled, so I don't always remember anything. In order to overcome that hurdle, Alphard had presumably managed to win over Tanaka somehow. And had then kidnapped Maria Osawa to provide leverage against her father. I can't say if who you are thinking is Alphard or not, but I can say that no one has been directly called Alphard yet. I see, yeah. I was like, could you imagine like somebody got called Alphard at the very beginning of the game, and you can just go back and look at that? It's like, oh, well, I know who to look out for now. I'm thinking maybe it's that guy on the train. I don't know. I've suspected everyone at this point. I've suspected Aya Kamiki, Rumi, the freaking teacher. It's everyone. No doubt that was how they'd gotten Hitomi to take the antiviral with her to Hachiko. While the police were distracted by following the Attaché case, Alphard would then take the antiviral from Hitomi. That was the general plan as far as Kano could surmise. Just then a call from Kuze came over the wireless. Oh, joy. Kano's hand tingled as it gripped the wireless. Oh. Ah, shit. Okay. Okay. This one I actually believe. Yeah. Ugh, that's pretty bad. Well, I hope somebody, I hope the president of, what is it? I forget their name already. The pharmaceutical company. I hope they have some backup plans in case. Okoshi Pharmaceutical. What? Kano gasped. If Tanaka was dead, it would now be almost impossible to access the antiviral drug in the laboratory. At this point, the only antiviral they had any chance of obtaining was whatever Hitomi was carrying. Kano thought back to what Stanley had said earlier. Even if we get Maria to safety, the mastermind is in possession of the UA virus. If they want to, they can unleash a bioterrorist attack on Shibuya at any time. To put it bluntly, the lives of every man, woman, and child in the city are in their hands. No. A chill ran down Kano's spine. If someone did release the UA virus, there would be no way to stop it from spreading. If Alpha... I just had a really dumb idea. It was like, okay, so we need to get the twin with the virus and then the twin with the antiviral to then fuse into one being, and they'll cancel each other out, and all of Shibuya will be saved. Sure. So fucking stupid. Why did I think that? If Alphard was really planning a bioterrorist attack, Shibuya would well and truly become the city of the dead. He couldn't help but feel that the whole department was playing right into the hands of Alphard's hands. Blah blah blah. It's not SMT, Courie, but it could be. It could be. This game could realize its true potential by just being SMT. But the real question is, do they have the fusion dance or the Potara earrings? I don't know the Potara earrings. I was thinking 100% fusion dance. I was thinking that for sure. Kano staggered, physically stricken by the realization of just how terrifying a foe they were up against. Let's listen to some more Aya Kamiki. Oh, okay. Sure. Okay. Let's go back and jump to Osawa. Thank goodness. I was like, where is this jump gonna come in? Okay. Osawa had confirmed that himself. Jump. Cool. Alright. To be continued. It's canon that everyone dies. True, it is canon. Well, this is pretty awkward. Hello, wife. Before the news was shared with the Osawas, the members of the investigation team quietly briefed Detective Kajiwara. Osawa and I sat on the sofa on the far side of the room watching. They could see Kajiwara go pale. He wiped the sweat from his forehead with the handkerchief several times. Bad news, Osawa thought. Mr. Osawa, ma'am. Kajiwara shuffled his way over to them at last. We've just gotten word from headquarters. Right now, why is there a jump? Why is there a jump? Why? Interesting. So you can find yourself, I guess, doing this in different ways. It's not one set path. That's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. That's really nice. Right now, the task force is in an uproar after a change in direction from the higher-ups. The detectives who are on the scene have been ordered to discontinue the kidnapping investigation. He hesitated ominously. Osawa braced himself. Please, let's hear it. It would seem your daughter, Maria, is safe. What? Osawa felt an unexpected surge of relief. You mean it? The case has been solved, added Aya. For a moment, they almost sounded like a happily married couple. It was only the stern look that on Kajiwara's face that had gave them pause. However, as of yet, we do not have her in custody. I'm not sure I understand, Osawa said. You know she's alive, but you don't have her. How? Deep furrows appeared in Kajiwara's forehead. I'm sorry, sir. The information we've received is from up top is complicated. We've confirmed that she was able to escape confinement. It's just... The detective gave every appearance of holding something back. If there's something you need to tell us, then just say it, Osawa told him. It would seem that Maria has been infected with the virus. Infected? Osawa felt as if a taloned claw had just clutched his heart. It's not one I've ever heard of before, but apparently it's called the UA virus. Well, that's pretty awkward. Osawa's vision went dark. He felt as if he'd plunged back into a black void of despair. Darling, I asked raspily. She didn't need to put her fears into words. Osawa felt them just as plainly as his own gut. You're an expert on virology, aren't you, Mr. Osawa? Kajiwara said. Are you familiar with this UA virus? Osawa held a hand to forestall further questions. There was no time for that. How many hours ago was she infected? He demanded. I wasn't told that much. Is that important to know, sir? Depending on when Maria was infected, we may or may not still be. Osawa trailed off abruptly as the reality of the situation struck home. Whenever you say I keep thinking you're saying I and confusing it with me. I know, right? I think that as well. It's like I. So many different meanings for I. Amazing. This wasn't the same as when Hitomi had been infected. Right now, there was no way of getting Tanaka's cooperation, which meant there was no way of accessing the antiviral storage. In other words, getting the cure to Maria would be impossible. Osawa's head swam. Detective Kajiwara, I beg of you. Your people need to catch Tanaka as soon as possible. I can't share the details, but if you don't, something terrible is going to happen. Very convenient call. Just then, Kajiwara's cell phone rang. He picked up quickly. What did you say? The detective's shout shattered the anxious silence that had fallen. I shuddered visibly at the outburst. Kajiwara nodded sharply, still listening. More creases formed in his forehead. Understood. I'll let them know. He hung up. All eyes were on him. That was headquarters. Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. He could feel himself quaking all over. A minivan, we believe belonged to the syndicate, exploded near Jinnan in Shibuya. I will never get that name right, whatever. I bet eyes are spinning in this scene. There's too many eyes. A body was found amongst the burning wreckage of the vehicle. Who was it? Osawa interjected. Tell me. Please, don't let it be Maria. Please, don't let it be Hitomi. Kajiwara took a breath before speaking. We have conclusively identified the remains as Mr. Tanaka's. The cry was visceral, almost bird-like. Osawa looked around in surprise. It was I. It's not true! You're lying! Her shrill screams reverberated through the room. Osawa felt like he wanted to scream too. With Tanaka dead, there was no way to get the antiviral. Which meant that Maria was going to die. Oh shit. I think they do it in a way where you have to complete Osawa's story at the end. Well, maybe not. Not necessarily. There are pretty big conclusions there, I feel like. That was pretty good. I really like that time block. Alright, here we go. This so ain't the old SOS anymore. I am going to stop you. That's not a baby?
Oh, how touching.
What do you mean? You'll kill me. In order to minimize the spread of the virus, let's go on to the next time block.
Yippee!
Yay! Choice and sacrifice. Clear the 1500 time block. Well, that was it. I hate the idea of not being able to play this game for a week. For over a week, I guess, at this point. I hate the idea of it. I hate it. I want to play more. I cannot read anymore. My brain is completely fried. That much is for certain. But I want to play more and understand the story more. Dang it. Yeah, this was pretty good. I talked about it. I talked about it previously. I personally would prefer that the game give me a keep out rather than a to be continued if things can still be changed within it. I feel like to be continued should be reserved for like, hey, just lock it in. Just lock it in. Like, who cares? But otherwise, that was a really smart way of making sure that you're making use of the game mechanics. Of just being like, hey, now we're gonna give you like smaller intervals where you need to jump from here to here to here to here. That was pretty fun. That was pretty good. It makes you think a little bit about what you have to do. So I really enjoyed it. And the story got really crazy. And now we're kind of caught up with what we saw in the beginning of the game. So yeah. With all that said, I think it is now time to end the stream. For today. Hopefully you I know I did a scream there for hopefully you all can still hear me and I didn't blow out the microphone. I tried to turn away before I did that scream. So hopefully it's all good. Yippee! Let's go ahead and see if anyone's online to raid. There's quite a few people online tonight. Who do I want to raid? Wait, was he always covered in soot? Who? Oh, Minorikawa. Oh, you're right. They changed his portrait because he got messed up. I like the little attention to detail as well. They did that for Maria as well. Like obviously her taking off the Tama outfit, but even just moving from to getting new clothes as well. So yeah, because he got blown up. So we're gonna go raid the Rob called Zeus. They are currently playing Marvel Rivals. I don't know anything about this game, but I mean everybody else does. So go say hi and go give your Marvel Rivals tips if you have any, or not. I'm going to get myself some tea and some dinner, and take it easy for the rest of the night because my voice is dying. Let me go over to the ending screen. If you are here, thank you so much for hanging out for a little bit. I really appreciate it. I will be back with this game sometime in the future. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful break from me if you're only following the Shibuya streams. I will be back tomorrow with the rest of Thousand Resist. So we'll be playing through that game and finishing it. So yeah, look forward to that. Bye bye. Thank you for coming, everyone. Have a wonderful night.